Hello everyone, my name is Melinda Martin and I'm the Gallery Director at Linden New Art. Tonight I'm joining you from the Linden Project Space. We're thrilled to be presenting the new work by Adelaide-based, who is sitting right next to me, in her first solo exhibition here in Melbourne, The Architecture of Room. Tonight I'm joined by my co-host.
Everybody, my name is Juliette Hanson and I'm the curator at Linden New Art. By now, we're sure you've attended a few virtual events from home, but we want to make sure that everyone feels welcomed and well informed about how this opening is going to proceed. I'd suggest you grab a glass of something and some suitable nibbles. Let's get started with some basics. Melinda, could you tell us a little bit more about Linden New Art?
Sure, so Linden's mission is to support brave new art by mid-career artists who engage visitors through inspiring, thought-provoking exhibitions of their new work. Our Linden Project Space was developed to provide opportunities for artists living and working in the city of Port Phillip and the south side of Melbourne. We also work in partnership with other organisations to provide exhibitions to artists living and working outside Victoria.
Thanks, Mel. So tonight we're coming to you live on YouTube and Facebook. If you're watching us live tonight and you'd like to make a comment, you'll need to log into the platform you're watching us from. We'd love to hear from you. Simply click on the Say Something or Write a Comment box at the bottom of the live chat area to get started. If you're watching through a TV, chatting can get a bit complicated, so we recommend that you chat through a computer, tablet or mobile device.
Thanks, Juliette. I'd like to begin tonight by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we all virtually meet this evening. Both Juliette, Anna and I are meeting you from the lands of the Yalukit clan of the Boomerang people here in Melbourne. I pay my respects to their elders, both past, present and emerging, and while we meet virtually this evening, tonight draws upon the ancient history of this land and it reflects the millennia of experiences of First Nations people coming together to celebrate, to make art, to learn from each other and to connect. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all First Nations people who are joining us here this evening. And tonight, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to this lovely lady, Anna Rivers. Anna is an emerging Adelaide-based artist whose practice encompasses drawing, painting and sculpture, with a particular interest in photography. Anna is a 2019 graduate of Flinders University and the Adelaide College of the Arts. As a recipient of the Linden New Art Award at the Helpman Academy Graduate Exhibition, Anna has been awarded the opportunity to show her work here in this space for her first solo exhibition in Melbourne. She's currently a resident at Praxis Studio Art Space and is being mentored by Hussein Balamish as part of the Helpman Academy's Elevate Mentorship Program for 2021, and we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later.
It's such a beautiful show. Because we're coming to you virtually this evening, we did want to give you a tour of the exhibition, so please enjoy this short video. Thanks so much, Juliette, and congratulations on such a beautiful exhibition.
I'd now like to introduce you to Jane Mcfarland, the CEO of the Helpman Academy in South Australia, to officially open the exhibition. Jane has been the CEO there since 2015, and the Helpman Academy is an organisation that supports and empowers South Australia's most promising emerging creatives to forge successful and sustainable careers. Her career management spans 25 years across all levels of government, higher education and the corporate sector. Prior to our current position, Jane was Creative Arts Manager for TAFE SA and the South Australian Northern Territory Director for Creative Partnerships Australia and the Australian Business Arts Foundation, where we both got to work together over many a year, Jane. Her work in the creative sector covers visual arts, film, theatre, and she's directed national and international festivals and events. Recognised as an influential communicator, Jane has specific expertise in change management, organisational growth and building long-term collaborative partnerships and powerful connections. Under her leadership, the Helpman Academy has doubled its capacity in 3 years. Jane, welcome.
Hi, Mel, and hi, everyone. I'm coming to you from the land of the Kaurna people, and I also wanted to pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Now, this partnership with Lyndon's now in our 3rd year, and it really is a fantastic for us to partner with Lyndon to develop this opportunity for emerging South Australian artists to exhibit in your wonderful space there at Lyndon. I'm sorry I can't be there. This is my first virtual exhibition, so it's very exciting for me to be able to share, for you to be able to share this exhibition with the world through the use of technology. So thank you for letting me be a part of it as well. So Melinda asked me to talk a little bit about Helpman and how this exhibition came about. Helpman is a unique charity. We've been running for about 27 years here in South Australia. And as Mel said, our purpose really is to empower our most promising emerging creatives here in South Australia to realise their visions and build sustainable practices. But we support a broad range of artists, not just visual artists, across all disciplines, visual arts, music, dance, theatre, design and film. And the assistance that we provide is funded through our incredible family of private sector supporters with over $500,000 in direct support going to emerging creatives every year. In doing so, we provide a whole range of professional development opportunities, including about 6 grants that we give out every year, grant rounds. We have awards, fellowships, mentorships, masterclasses, commissions. We're about to launch a major new public art commission. We have advisory services, residencies, both here, which Anna's participated in, and prior to, obviously, last year, international residencies as well. And they've all of our programs really try and tailor specifically for emerging artists. We don't see ourselves just as a funding body, but we really try and work holistically with the artists that we support. And I think Anna is a wonderful example of a driven artist with a very strong creative voice, the type of artist that we really get behind to ensure these formative first years are maximised. So Anna, as you said, was awarded the Lyndon New Art Award last year at the Helpman Academy Graduate Exhibition, and the judges really felt that her photographic work showed great promise. And from that, I guess a little bit about our exhibition. So the GradX, for those of you who know Picker, it's like a South Australian version of Picker. So we select the top graduates from all of the visual arts institutions here, and we award over $60,000 in awards at that exhibition. And the result of Anna's award through the Lyndon New Art Award is the exhibition that's culminated there tonight. I have to say we're incredibly proud, Anna, of everything you have achieved in your first year of graduation. Not only is this Anna's first interstate and solo exhibition, but while many artists in their first year out, I think, would be excused, particularly at the moment, for working with what they know, I think Anna has taken this opportunity to really push herself into new creative territories and mediums. So all this expansion in mind, Anna set herself up in a new Helpman-funded studio at Praxis and undertook, as Mel said, the Helpman Elevate mentorship with revered multidisciplinary artist Hussein Balamet. And the aim of that exhibition, of that mentorship, was for Anna to really push herself outside of her comfort zone by extending her practice into sculpture and installation. And there's such beautiful results which are on display tonight. I particularly love that Anna worked with Hussein to bring the photographic prints into the 3D world in such a subtle and evocative way. I know that Anna, from talking to her, was drawn to the poeticism of Hussein's work and really wanted to amplify the same atmosphere in her showing there tonight. And I think the results absolutely speak for themselves. It's such a fabulous exhibition and great to be able to see it virtually. So a huge congratulations to you, Anna, to everyone at Linden New Art on this outstanding achievement. And thank you also for having me here tonight. As I said, it's exciting to see the outcome. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Jane, and thank you so much for opening the exhibition, because I know you're dashing between events this evening, so you are
I have my drink. Sadly, it's only water.
Sadly. Look, next time I come to Adelaide, Jane, I promise to clink a glass with you and celebrate in person. Yeah. Earlier in the week, I caught up with Anna to learn a little bit more about her experiences with the Helpman Academy and how that's assisted in her career trajectory and what opportunities she's gained through their support. So let me share that with you now. Anna, welcome to Linden New Art, and we're surrounded by your beautiful exhibition in the Linden Project space. In 2019, we first met when I awarded you the Linden Art Prize as part of the Helpman Academy graduate exhibition. I'm just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what it's like to be selected in that exhibition.
It's so nice to have that kind of reassurance that what you're doing is kind of important and people kind of resonate with it. And it's kind of a good starting point to move forward with your career and know that there are people that are interested in your work and want to see more of it.
And I think what's really lovely about that opening is that so many people come from Adelaide and people buy work and are out there supporting, especially emerging artists, which is great. We were supposed to have this show last year, yes, but then the world changed, and our gallery was closed for much of last year. Okay. What are some of the things that you got up to in 2020?
Well, I started off the year doing honours, so that was my plan for the year, but then we didn't have studio access or anything like that, so I decided to defer that. Mm-hmm. And then I still continued to work on the project that I was planning to do for honours, which kind of led to this work in the end. And I also started up like the business side of things for my art practice because it was kind of a quiet time, so I had that time to really set things up properly, which was nice. And then I was just looking for, slowly as more opportunities started to come up during COVID, like when people started to come up with different opportunities. Yeah. I started applying for some of those things. I also received a residency. I was meant to be going to Japan, but that's not happening now, so.
Which is, it's one of those things, because those residencies are really important for like career development, opportunity to see other cultures and experiences. And just because it's on pause doesn't mean that it won't happen in the future at some point. Currently, you're part of the Helpman Academy's Elevate mentorship, and I'm just wondering if you can talk about who you're working with, what the mentorship is doing, and the kind of things that you're working on with your mentor.
Yeah, so I'm working with Hussein Balamet, and the kind of things I've been doing with him, I wanted to start working on more sculptural works, which I've kind of done little sculptures and taken photographs before, but nothing like for an exhibition space, so I wanted to kind of expand on that. And he's had so much experience with sculptural and installation works. So really what I've been doing with him is kind of looking at the technical side of the process and getting his expertise in like materials and tools and how to kind of put these things together. And also just discussing with him throughout the process of coming up with works for exhibition, choosing works and like all the kind of steps you need to go through for an exhibition. It's been so good to have that kind of experience and knowledge to kind of be able to talk to him about everything. So yeah.
Anna, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
I also caught up with Anna after we installed the show to find out more about how she went about making these very evocative and elegant photographs, and also how they relate to the sculptural works in the show. So happy to be here with you in your brand new show in the gallery space here at Linden Projects. I'm really interested to know a little bit more about how you've made these beautiful photographs. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more about how you set up the studio space. And I understand you worked with a dancer to produce
So I worked with Darcy O'Rourke, who's a dancer at Australian Dance Theatre. And we hired a studio space for the day and set up this black backdrop and just had some lighting coming in from the side because I wanted this really kind of, subtle kind of lighting that just caught glimpses of the body and the figure, so it kind of turns into this slightly abstracted form that's a bit ambiguous. And in terms of the poses and the positions, Darcy, I had sent her a document previous to the shoot that had kind of some inspiration images, and I'd been looking at the works of the architect Tadao Ando, and kind of just had images of some spaces that I kind of resonated with as a way of trying to get these kind of geometries and the feel for these spaces that then we could put into these works. But then on the day, it was quite an intuitive process on the day. So we had this kind of background information in our heads, and then on the day we just kind of went for it and kind of tried to recreate these architectural geometric forms that explored the idea of the body within these spaces and how the body remembers architectural spaces as well.
Yeah, I'm so interested in this idea of how the body and how memory are linked to physical space. I wonder if you could maybe describe a little bit more about how you see memory being encased in the body, or how the form of the body might reflect memories of spaces. It's so interesting.
With these works, I started off looking a lot at some theories, affect theory and phenomenology, and so these kind of ideas of how the body and the actions we kind of take are influenced by so many social and historical contexts that are almost on a subconscious level. The way we move, the way we react within a space is something that we don't often think about, but it can have an impact on the way we continue to kind of experience space as well. And then looking at this idea of how the body, once it has moved through a space, within its kind of muscles and within its bones and veins, it kind of holds these structures subconsciously, and we can kind of reconstruct these forms. And even thinking of a simple thing of, when you're in a small space, you kind of might be more hunched over or kind of feel a bit more contained, but if you're in a large open space, you might move more freely. That kind of plays on the idea of our body knows how to move through a space because it holds this memory of the geometries around it and the way that a space feels. Yeah.
That's such a great idea. I really like that.
Yeah.
I suppose for me, looking at the works, lots of it is kind of about obviously light and dark, and maybe what's hidden and what's revealed. And I think that speaks so strongly to the idea of memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why you chose to make them in black and white as well, to emphasize those contrasting
Yeah,
aspects?
definitely. And as well to kind of take away that, you know, with colour, I think things become a lot more obvious sometimes. So taking away the colour, you can kind of have these forms that, you know, and especially with the lighting, they fade into the background and you don't know where the body starts and ends, or, you know, which part is kind of the body. And absolutely that idea of like ambiguity and transience really reflects memory, I think. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Maybe we can walk through the space and have a look at the sculptures, because I'm interested to know as well how you transferred the forms and the imagery that you captured in the photographs. What your thinking was around then creating the sculptural forms, because they suit the works so well, they mirror them so nicely. What was your process there?
Yeah, so these happened after I had shot all these works and photographs. And it was this idea of, again, kind of creating this further, like more ambiguity again. So taking something from the 2D form and then making it 3D again. So you're just obscuring it kind of every step of the way. And kind of creating these objects that have a sense of space and weight to them. And it's kind of like an exchange of space and memory between these two works, I feel.
So I was wondering what influences you. Do you look outside of your practice, or is it other photographers maybe that have influenced the making of the works?
I definitely I also have like photographers that influence me just throughout my whole practice, but for these works in particular, I try to kind of look outside my discipline and look more at those kind of architects and designers. And I look a lot at music as well. Like there's a lot of music that I feel evokes a sense of space and can really help with like the mood of creating these kind of works. So musicians like Ryuichi Sakamoto and Oliver Arnold and those kind of ambient atmospheric works. I think that can really help me kind of get into the headspace of a project that I'm creating.
And do you sort of digitally manipulate the image that you've captured after the fact?
For these ones, not much, like just some just a little retouching, bumping up the contrast a bit, but because we kind of set up the studio space quite well, and the framing was kind of how I wanted it, there didn't need to be too much editing, which is always nice.
Wow,
yeah.
Amazing.
And because I enjoy working analogue as well and in the dark room a bit, which I haven't had a chance to do lately, but I think that kind of influences my process a bit as well. I like kind of that slower pace of working and not necessarily being at the computer for too long if I don't have to be.
Thank you so much, Anna, for taking the time to chat with us this week. If you'd like to find out more about Anna's work, then you can visit her website, which should be appearing at the bottom of the screen now. It's annarevers.com.
Thanks so much, Juliet. And thank you, Anna, for joining us this evening in real life. The gallery here in Melbourne is still under some restrictions because of COVID, but we're hoping eventually at some point this year to have real exhibition openings with real people out instead of reaching people in this virtual way. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful exhibition. It's a delight to have been working with you this week, and we look forward to hopefully finding some new homes for some of this beautiful work. Tonight, I'd like to gratefully acknowledge the City of Port Phillip as the owner of our beautiful home and the generous supporter of our public programs, education opportunities and exhibitions. We're also grateful for the support we receive from Creative Victoria's organisations investment program, Business Victoria and Vic Health. Many people have worked behind the scenes to develop and further invest in the artists and the exhibitions you see on display. Tonight, I'd like to thank our philanthropic supporters, the Helen McPherson Smith Trust, the Robert Seltzer Foundation, the Community Enterprise Foundation through Elwood Community Bank, the Telstra Foundation, the University of Melbourne, our education partners, and Melbourne Business School, our corporate supporters, Matsos, Minter Allison Lawyers, Hunt Road, Stone and Wood, Zilla and Brook, and our project partners for tonight, of course, the wonderful Helpman Academy. So thank you very much.
And now it is my turn to talk about money. This is the bit where we ask you to support us if you're able to do so. We're offering this event online for free tonight, so everyone can enjoy the experience, but it does take a lot for our very small team to produce this virtual event. So if you can, please think about supporting us. We suggest a figure of about $15 or $20 if you're in a position to do so. You can think of it as buying a glass of sparkling wine or a couple of beers. And of course, if you'd like to add more zeros to the end of those numbers, we would not say no. The link to donate securely online is at the bottom of your screen, and we'll also place the link in the chat as well. We do need your support now more than ever, and we'd like to thank you in advance for your generosity. Thanks again for joining us tonight from home, and we look forward to welcoming you back at the gallery in real life as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Juliet. We look forward to welcoming you to see Anna's stunning exhibition. The Lindrum Project Gallery is days from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. You'll need to check in with the Service Victoria apps on arrival, so those incognito mystery gallery visits will be kind of off the table at the moment as we need to capture the details for contact tracing purposes. Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight in virtual live streaming land. I'd like to bring everyone back who is part of this event, and I'm actually going to get Anna's partner Jared, who's sitting out of shot, to just sneak in behind me to say hello. And I'd like to welcome back the Linden team who've been working behind the scenes at the gallery from their homes and responding to questions and queries in the chat on this live stream event. So thank you to our curator, Juliet Hanson, who is also my co-host this evening, our development manager, Lynn Johnson, who's at home, our design and marketing coordinator, Matt, who has been DJing a lot of behind-the-scenes things, thank you, our gallery administrators, Chloe and Hannah, and our volunteer officer, Ada. Thank you for joining me in the adventure that is co-hosting in virtual world, Juliet. We've done
always a pleasure.
Thank you also to everyone joining us. I know that we've got quite a few people from Adelaide who have been able to jump online and see your show as well, so that's fabulous. Our team looks forward to welcoming you back into the gallery. Good night, everyone, and have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Oops.